chlorophyll. In the leaf itself, these are the natural colors of the leaves. So when the tree starts producing chlorophyll, they go to these other colors.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew about the chlorophyll, but I didn't realize that this is the natural color.
Yeah. Here we have, this is a maple tree. There are 17 species, approximately, of maples in North America. And we're predominantly after two species, Acer saccharum, which is a sugar maple, and Acer rubrum, which is a red maple, which this is. Even though the leaves are orange, it's still referred to as a red maple because in the springtime it has bright red buds. Hence it's a red maple. All maple sugaring is done approximately 500 miles from our Great Lakes. If you took a compass and drew a circle, within that 500-mile circle is where maple syrup is produced and nowhere else on Earth. And the main reason for that is the climate that exists here. And by that I mean the freeze-thaw cycle that we have in the spring. Daytime temperatures up into the high 30s and low 40s, but nighttime temperatures right down into freezing or sometimes into the teens. All summer long when the leaves are green, they are producing starches which are stored in the roots. Then the tree goes dormant, and in the springtime, when the days begin to lengthen and the temperatures start to warm up, the sun heats up the sides of the trees, and the longer days creates a chemical reaction which takes place in the trees where the starches that are stored in the roots turn to sugars. And along with that chemical change or chemical reaction, there becomes an internal pressure within the tree that is greater than atmosphere. So it pushes the sap from the roots up to the tree tops, up to feed the branches. That flows through the outside 1.5 to 3 inches of the tree, the skin of the outside of the tree. And then at night, when it starts to cool off, the tree goes, geez, I got to protect myself from freezing, so it sends all the sap back down to the roots. And that cycle will happen dozens of times over the maple season, and as a result, we're able to collect sap from the trees. And when I was a boy, our way of collecting sap was we would drill a 1/2-inch diameter hole about 1.5 to 2 inches deep within the tree and drive one of these metal spiles in. And then we would use these metal buckets, and the cover on top is just to keep out rainwater and debris from within the sap. Each day, when Mother Nature allows it, the tree will fill that bucket on the run. Yeah, each day. But it doesn't happen every single day. Conditions have to be right. Whereas it got cold the night before and it warmed up, but not too warm, but not too cold. And as a result, we get 17 to 20 runs for 6 to 8 weeks. It happens here in this area mid-February through mid-April. And once the buds begin to develop on the branches, and once they split to open up, the sap flow ceases, stops. Now, these trees have to be roughly 40 years old before they are tapped for the first time. And at 40 years old, it is 10 to 12 inches in diameter. The reason that we don't want to tap a tree much earlier than that is we take a chance on drilling into the heartwood of the tree. And if we do that, we'll kill the tree. This particular one is, I'd say 60, 65 years old, just getting ready for Social Security.
You think? Just starting working life.
And generally a tree is going to be upwards to 24 inches in diameter before we put multiple taps. The reason for that is we tap the tree year after year after year. And if we over-tap the tree, as a result of over-tapping it, we will also kill the tree. My grandfather would say, "Sonny, you just take what's yours and be satisfied." So if you're very conservative, you treat it well, it'll last a long time. Now, I told you a few minutes ago the trees are 40 years old before you tap them for the first. So the trees that start growing today, I personally will never live long enough to acquire sap from them. It'll be up to my children or my grandchildren. As today, I am tapping the trees that were left by my grandfather or my great-grandfather, my dad. And that's why the maple sugaring thing is so important, that it is a generational thing, that a family has decided that they are going to do this and continue to do it over generation over generation.
Jim, how did they ever decide